lovely YouTubers, welcome back to my YouTube channel with me, your girl Morgan Tracy J, coming today with another video. And honestly, I am excited to share this video, so I'm not going to do my usual introduction, subscribe, blah blah blah. Let's get into the video. So I was laying in my bed the other night and I heard the Lord say, do not give up on your purpose just because it's not working. And I thought, oh, that's for somebody. Okay, and I have learned this a couple times. I've learned this actually a lot in the ministry and then even entrepreneurship journey. I've learned this. Maybe this is something I haven't shared enough of, but I want to tell you, just because your purpose or just because your idea, just because that thing you were trying to do is not working, does not mean to give up on it. Does not mean to throw in the towel because it's not working. I know from the everyday side, you're like, well, Morgan, it's not working. Why would I keep trying at it? But sometimes it's really just some things you have to tweak that will actually move you forward. Okay, and y'all, I'm speaking from experience because I have been in this ministry for years. There were seasons when I was doing this from my old high school bedroom, and literally things were not working, and I desired at times to throw in the towel because I'm like, there has to be something better. Even when I started my mentorship, when it wasn't working in the first year and a half, I think in 1 year I got 15 girls signed up, and I'm like, God, something's wrong, something's not working here. And you know what happened though? It's like, no, it is going to work, but there's some things you've got to learn. So I want to tell you this again. I got to say it for the girl in the back. Do not give up on your purpose, your idea, your dream, just because it's not working. There are some things you can do to see, hey, is this thing actually going to work for me? Okay, let me tell you. First off, I got to tell you though, the problem isn't just you. The problem isn't God withholding it from you. The problem isn't, oh, did I sin or something that's making this? Am I doing something? Am I unhealed that's causing the delay? I used to think like this a lot, but then we also can look in the natural, and a lot of people who don't even have the faith that we have or the mindset we have, they be blessed, okay? They be getting opportunities, okay? Let me say, they get a lot of opportunities and a lot of growth as well. But there is something I've learned from just, the Christian sphere, but also not the Christian sphere. But I've learned something that's so powerful. The problem to why things don't work sometimes, or why it's not growing and why it's not shifting, is your strategy. Okay? And I'm speaking from experience. Many times why things aren't moving for you is your strategy. It's just the way you've been doing things. It's not working for you anymore. So let me give you this example. Years ago, I was on Instagram and I got myself to about 3,000 to 5,000 just by posting my scriptures sometimes, posting pictures of myself, and posting my little devotionals here and there, just like quotes and stuff. I got myself to about 3,000 on Instagram. And I'm looking at it like, why am I not growing more? Because I know there's more I could do. So I got me a social media manager. Shout out to Theo. I got her for a season. And you know what happened? She showed me a new strategy. So my normal occasional posting that I was doing was okay. But she showed me to have a post with purpose. She showed me to have goals. She showed me a new strategy on how to post and how to be interactive with my audience. She showed me new strategies, okay? Shout out to Theo, as I say again. She showed me a great new strategy because the strategy that I was currently doing was no longer working. So I want to say this to you again. Sometimes the reason things aren't working is because your strategy is off. And I want to say this. You can keep doing it the way that you want to do it and how you've been doing things. But if you notice that you keep hitting walls, like you grow or there's always a threshold, you always just hit this wall, you get so far. Oh man, Morgan, I've been posting videos on YouTube for years and it's just not really working and I haven't grown and I haven't this. I'm like, oh, well, let's look at your strategy. Because sometimes it's not just about you posting, but it's about what you're posting and when you're posting it, right? Sometimes it's about your thumbnail or your titles as well. So see, sometimes people are saying, this isn't working, so I'm going to throw in the towel. Man, I've been trying to grow my Instagram for years and I'm going to throw in the towel. But maybe you occasionally posting once every few weeks is not the strategy anymore. And maybe if you're going to post once a week, maybe it's posting correct things for the right strategy. So I'm saying all this to tell you this. There are some ways that you can break through, okay? So just because something isn't working does not mean to throw in the towel. Does not mean to give up on it. Does not mean that this is not the idea and let me go grab another one. And many issues is why we don't grow is sometimes we jump ship on the idea because it wasn't working in that season, but in the next season, it was gonna blow up, okay? See, I wanna tell you this. In 2015, when I started my YouTube channel, a lot of girls wasn't listening for sermons. In 2016, when I was working on, a lot of people weren't listening to sermons. In 2017, a lot of girls, there was not that like real big Christian movement yet. About 2018, 2019 though, that movement came and I was there. So if I would have thrown in the towel because, YouTube isn't growing 2 years later, not really making no growth, not really seeing the ministry grow, then I would have missed out on the amazing opportunities that were coming. So sometimes we jump ship too soon because we think it's not working. So I want to give you 3 ways right now, girl. 3 ways how to get your purpose working again. Okay, I'm going to give you 3 ways. First thing is, you got to acknowledge that your way may not always be the best way. Okay, and I'm sharing this because I love dropping my videos on Mondays at 6 a.m. I love that morning coffee. That was how I was doing it. But then I realized something. My audience is mainly there between 11 and 3. So dropping it that early, it's going to be there for some people, but the bulk of my audience is online at that time. So if I drop it by 10:30, I'll get to the bulk of my audience right around the right time, right? Same thing with Instagram. I realized that I was just wanting to post late at night sometimes when I was inspired in the nighttime. But truly, if I posted it during the daytime at peak hours, I would get more traction on that post. I would get more comments. I would get to talk to girls more. I would get more feedback, right? All that. So I want to share this with you. You got to acknowledge sometimes that your way is not the best way and it's time to get a new strategy. All right? Because you might want to post at 12 o'clock at midnight when you're inspired, whenever most everybody is asleep. Right? And then you're like, man, why is my stuff not really moving? Why am I not really getting the traction? It really just may be a new strategy on your posting schedule. So first thing is acknowledge that your way is not always the best. And sometimes that's hard because if you've been doing things the way you've been doing things for so long, it's easy to say, well, this is working for me. Like it's easy for me to say, oh, morning coffee goes up at 6 a.m. every Monday. So it was really hard to change it to 10. And now even the idea of changing the date to Sunday, which I feel like I'm going to eventually, is still challenging. Okay. So I just want to share that with you. Sometimes doing things your way for so long will kind of keep you in that mode of just doing things your way, right? The next thing I want to tell you, tip number 2 I want to give you is all about find 3 people that you can learn from. 3 people in your sphere, 3 people that you truly kind of look up to, 3 people that you're like, oh, I like how she runs her business, or I like how she dresses, or I like how her day-to-day is. I like what she does for a living, whatever that may be. Find 3 people to glean from. 3 people to learn from, to kind of learn their strategy. And one thing about people online, they're kind of always sharing a strategy. They're always sharing with you how they outline their day, or how they make sure they get up and do this, or how they plan out their groceries, or even fitness women, they tell you, oh, how they do their fitness workouts, whatever it may be. Find 3 people that you can glean from. Even if you have a podcast, why don't you find some podcasters that you can follow and kind of see what their day-to-day is looking like, seeing how they outline their content, see how they prepare for interviews, right? All of that. There are some people you could be gleaning from to learn a new strategy. Okay. And last, girl, you got to become a student again. I will say that when my ministry wouldn't grow, or when I would hit a lot of plateaus, I realized because I wasn't being a student, because the strategy that I was working was what I just continued to keep doing. Okay. And so if you want to become a student again, you want to glean from someone. And I will say, when I've seen the sales increase, when I've seen the ministry increase, it's been when I've been a student and I've learned new strategy. Okay. And so that what I mean by strategy is I've learned new ways on how to do things even better, more effectively, more productive. I've learned how to do things better based off of listening and learning from other people, but being a student. So challenge yourself in the field that you're called to. If you keep uploading to YouTube and things ain't working, challenge yourself to become a student to YouTube, to where now you're learning all about the strategies out there that you can try. This is a bonus tip though. Every strategy will not work for you. And this is just the honest truth. I know a few years ago, once I started my membership, I got a specific strategy from a specific person who had a membership as well, where they would only drop in one masterclass, and that's all the people had for that 1 month. And then at the end of that month, it would close out and they would get another one. And so I was like, ooh, I want to try that strategy. And I did it for my mentorship. And my mentorship are stay-at-home moms. Some of them are working moms. Some of them are busy college students. Some of them are busy. So when the end of the month came and I would remove that masterclass and give them another, some of them wanted to go back and finish. And they felt like they didn't want to move forward because they wanted that one. So I realized quickly, this doesn't really work for my mentorship. Maybe it works for theirs, but that strategy doesn't work here. And I will tell you, not all strategies will work for you. But girl, there are some that will blow your socks off. There's been a few strategies. Oh my gosh. Let me just say this. Carrie Green, she gave a strategy about a mentorship. She gave a strategy about some email before, and I grabbed the strategy, and girl, that worked. I was like, okay. I grabbed a strategy before from someone on Instagram. They talked about how to like find the audio and use a certain tagline. And I used that tagline. Pretty much got like 500 views on one particular reel that I did. Never got that many, 500,000 views, I'm sorry. 500,000 views on one particular reel using their strategy. There are strategies all out there that people are just giving away, and many times for free, okay? I want to tell you, girl, there are some things you want to remember. Just because the idea or the purpose or the thing you're trying to do is not working does not mean that you stop working on it. That means that you got to go back and become a student again. You got to glean from some people in that area. And you've got to acknowledge that maybe your way is not always the best way, that there's new things to learn here. Also, not to be afraid to try the new strategies. Some of them will not work, and then some of them will blow your socks off and work like crazy. But you only are going to know that if you try them. So if I give you a strategy and I'm like, girl, this is how you do on YouTube, do this. Try it. Try the strategy. If it works for you, amen. And if it doesn't, okay, try another one. I want to share that with you. There are so many different things I've learned, even about ministry, even about study, that came from other people, other theologians, other leaders, different strategies and different ways that they did it to make sure that they stayed on top of things. So I want to share this with you today. If your purpose isn't working, if your vision isn't working, if your idea isn't working, girl, that don't mean to throw in the towel. That means to become a student again. That means to acknowledge that maybe the strategy and the way you've been doing things is not the best way, as well as that means to go and learn from some people. Find 3 people in that sphere that you can truly glean from. Also, to not be afraid to try the strategies and see what God will do through those. So I want to share this with you. Do not give up on your purpose just because it's not working. If you want to learn from me, I have a masterclass called The Miracle Month. Okay, this masterclass was something I created from out of strategy, some things I've learned. And so if you're interested in that, you can click the link down below and you can get access to that for free today. Well, ladies, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it blessed you. Please click the link in the description box below if you're interested in my Miracle Month masterclass. And I hope it blesses you. I'll see you in my next one.